Okay, so out on the frost has just cleared, but it is a really cold morning, so you might see blue hands today. I'm reviewing a little quad that I've done quite a few similar to this. I'm not too sure how you even pronounce this one. ThiEYE, T-H-I-E-Y-E, so it's got I at the end of it anyway. And you control it with your phone. It's a real sort of selfie one. It looks quite a nice little spec. It's nice and solid, really nice little robust thing. Nothing sort of twists or anything on it, which seems pretty good. It does come with guards, and I'll show you them when we do the sort of summary in the studio. Why am I doing this one? Well, it's got a 1080p and camera, and it shoots at 30 frames a second, and that's quite good. It's very good actually, because a lot of the cheap cameras will shoot at 25 frames a second. You can get away with that, but some of them are 20, and the earlier ones are actually 15 frames a second, which is really jerky. It's not fast enough for making smooth video. So this should be quite nice. It's got no stabilization or anything. It's not an expensive drone, and it is just designed, I would imagine, just as a little selfie drone. It's also got another camera, so one underneath here. Now this camera is used for positioning. This is called Optical Flow positioning. So instead of using GPS and getting the satellite signals down to keep it in a position, what we do with this one is it looks down with that camera and it picks a spot on the ground, and that's where it will hold. So if the wind's blowing, it will try and keep it there. If it's just got a little bit of drift on it, or if something pushed it or whatever, it would try and hold that position. So as soon as you let go of the stick input, it will basically hold that position. That's how optical flow works. Good thing about optical flow over GPS is it works indoors as well. So it will hold indoors under virtually anything, but sometimes if you've got like a shiny surface or a very smooth surface that's exactly one color all over, then obviously it can't pick a spot on it. So it needs something with a bit of texture, really, I suppose, to actually make it work. It comes with a 650 milliamp hour battery. You just lift that bit and then just slide it out. It's a little bit stiff the first time you do it, but after a couple of goes it gets a lot easier. And that's a proprietary battery. I think they're doing some ones where you get 2 or 3 batteries with them. I put links to everything down in the description as per normal, and it's a single cell as well. It takes up to 32 gigabytes a memory card, and that's what I've put in it to give it a go. And I did do a quick test indoors, and it seemed to work absolutely fine, so that's good. And that's another benefit of it. It stores on board, which is good, because if it's coming back to your phone, obviously you've got the transmission time, you could drop frames or anything, so this really shouldn't do it. Charges up micro USB in here, and you connect it up and the LEDs flash. I'll probably show you all that when we actually do the summary indoors. Okay, so what we're going to do first of all is flick it on and just hold this button for a couple of seconds. You get a little red LED come on there, and then we're just going to pop it down. This is level, so I'm going to calibrate it as well before we do any flights. I haven't actually had a flight with it. It's just all I've done is play around with it indoors. There we go. And then we get the flashing LEDs alternating there. And the app we're going to use is ThiEYE Dr X is what the app is. And I'm just going to come into my settings. It's already actually picked it up, but if you're new to it, if it's the first time you go to log on to it, basically you need to go into Wi-Fi settings and then go to connect, and the password for it is 12345678. Once you've done that once, it'll automatically auto reconnect, sort of thing, so you haven't got any problems there. Shouldn't have anyway. And then launch the app. Now, another thing I really like about this, and I didn't know until I got it obviously, is the app is really nicely done. You've got tutorials in here, literally just runs through everything for you. So if you're new to it, new to flying and everything, or new to this style of drone, it runs through everything with you. It's really nice, and it literally jumps to the menus that you can scan them this way, or you can just jump to them in here as well. That's really nice. I like that. If you're new to flying, it says you must read this, and basically it's the manual and everything, so it runs through everything about it, and you get a little manual with it as well, so that's really good. Again, I like it. It's a nice little app actually. You've got your updates as well and your settings in here as well, and we can calibrate it here, but I'll calibrate it when we get into the flight mode area. And then you've got your album of your images that are stored as well. I think it stores on the phone and on the card itself, but we'll see how we go when we get on with it. Going to press fly, and there we are, we're all ready to go. And it seems pretty quick on the actual FPV. It's not too bad. I mean, this thing isn't going to be an FPV racer or anything like that, but it is nice if the FPV works, so you can line up your shots and everything, obviously. We've got the calibration here, so we've got flashing LEDs. It's waiting for us to go, basically. I'm going to press the calibration one and then press that. to confirm, and it goes solid, and it's finished the calibration. There we go. The settings in here, this is what I like about this, it's really simple. So you've got two options. You can fly it on your joystick, which is basically you've got control of it, or you can use motion sensor on your phone, so you can actually tilt it around, and I'll show you both of these when we get going. You've got low speed and high speed. You've got a selfie mode, which is basically, to me, everything seems backwards. And I'll show you again these two, or aerial mode, which to me would be normal flight mode. And then you've got the last one is American habits or Japanese habits. So I'm just leaving it on American. And that's it. That's all that's in the app. And I really like that in an app, because some of them are so many menus, so convoluted, really boring. So I really like this sort of setup. Okay, so I'm going to start the video before we do anything else. There we go. So you've got your video controls down here, and it's a selfie. It's designed as a selfie mode, so you take it off facing towards you. So we're just getting a little bit of breeze in the gun, so I'd be interested to see how it goes. Press the takeoff button, and then you can just slide that, and then it starts the motors, and off it goes. There we go. And because it's a selfie mode, I find it quite confusing how they work, because they're not the way I would normally fly. But we can put it in ordinary flight mode as well. So, and actually, that footage looks really nice. You can see how blinking cold it is. Got blue hands, got a blue motor behind me. So up and down here, it's clearly marks what way everything works. I mean, you can see it on the app here. It's really nicely done, I think, sort of thing. So you pull it this way, it comes towards you. Push it that way, it goes away from you. To the right and to the left. To me, that's sort of all around the wrong way. But if that's the way you want to fly, then that's fine. Obviously, it is designed as a selfie sort of thing. I'm actually going to swap it, and the nice thing is, if you come into any of the controls, it will just sit there because of the altitude hold it's got as well, and obviously a position hold. It's picked a position on the ground there. So I'm going to actually come into here and put it in aerial mode. So now forward is forward as far as I'm concerned, right is right, etc. So to me, this is a much easier way of flying. So this is in low rates, and in no way is this going to be a sports flyer by any means. Actually, the footage looks really nice. Yeah, really cool. And then if you let go, it should hold position. It might struggle on this grass, actually. Because it's, like I say, we had quite a dew this morning, well, frost, it was hard frost this morning, so it's actually sort of quite shiny, but no, that's holding position pretty well. So sometimes you can get it to pick up your, there we go, so it's actually now moving because I'm moving my fingers. If I let go, it should then pick up the ground. The disadvantage of using Optical Flow is the height, so if I just take it up, I'm not sure how high this will actually go. Ooh, it sort of gave up there. Oh, there it was me. Actually, a nice camera on it. So, and the optical flow positioning will sort of run out at about 10 meters. So I don't think you'd be really going much higher than that, would you? That's just, oh, mind you, we're doing pretty well. I was well above 10 meters, I would say. I'm going to put it on this 361, and basically then it will do a quick pirouette sort of thing. Now it's struggling with its positioning, I think. Oh no, not too bad. It is orbiting around a wee bit sort of thing. We're just about losing signal. Oh no, it's just holding. So it doesn't orbit you, it does just a pirouette basically, I would call it. There we go. And that's all done with that. So I'm going to put the rates up. So that's in low rates, that's in high rates. Let's just see what the difference is. And the descent on these things is usually pretty slow, and it's not going to disappoint there, I don't think. Oh, it does actually get a bit of a move on though, to be fair. And actually usually find if you're descending and giving it some pitch, it's usually actually comes down a bit faster. That actually isn't too bad. It's certainly a lot better for me than it was when it was flying on the in low rate sort of thing, but the low rate would be great for video. So, and like I say, it's no sports flyer by any means sort of thing. And you can see it's trying to pick its position again. It's having a little bit of a struggle there. Like I say, the video footage looks really nice. I like it. We've got an emergency stop here. Whoops. Oh dear. Oh, it got a bit confused there by the moss. I might actually take it out on the gravel. The gravel is usually a really good one. Oh, there you go, it's found its position, no problem at all. So got an emergency stop here, literally just press and hold that and it will kill it. There we go, just managed to catch that in time. So again, auto takeoff, and this time we're going to face it away from me. Well, that's good. I'm going to take a selfie with it as well. So just go about there, I think. And I've got to stop the video. Oh. There we go, stop the video and then do a selfie. That's good. Actually, it's holding position really well. There's no breeze today really anyway, so. And just again, little selfie. It's really stable on here. It must be stabilising it with the actual, perhaps it's got stabilisation built in, but it'll be electronic stabilisation, as in the firmware is actually sorting that out. So, but it does actually seem quite stable and quite smooth, unless it's just a particularly smooth little flyer, which is no bother. And flight time seems pretty good. I mean, it is absolutely freezing today. It's about -2, I think. And as you can see, the pampas grass is just moving a bit, so there is a bit of a breeze here. I can just feel it. It's not that much, but there is a little bit. Let's see what we do for range. Turn it away from me. I'll just go run it down the garden and just see how far we go. So I think they give 50 metres on it, so which is probably more than enough, I would say. I know if I get anywhere near, that's just about 50 metres there. If I get anywhere near that hedge, that's 80 metres. Whoa, we are doing well. Yeah, I don't want to go any further than that. That's 80 metres. It does actually get a bit of a shift on. Mind you, I'm bringing it in backwards as well. Whoa! Oh, battery went low there. It was getting a nice little shift on there as well. Hey ho, it's full testing here, I can tell you. I think we're probably too low to even take off. Yeah, I didn't get any warning on here or anything, but obviously you should just keep an eye on this little bit here. So I'm going to get a battery on charge and then just give it another quick go. But we did do 80 metres there, which was pretty impressive actually. Okay, so I did have it fully charged and I just had a little play with it indoors to make sure, to check out that it kept our settings, and it's actually come down about 10% with me just playing around with it actually. But just to show you, I turned my phone off, turned it back on, and it's remembered we're on high settings and we're on aerial mode, so it doesn't go back to its factory default, which I really like. I think that's good. So let's just take off. There we go, and I'll start that video again. There's only a couple of more things to show you. I like this. It's a really nice, simple app. I do like that. So just going to put it onto motion sensitivity. So we're basically going to control it with our phone and just click yes on that. So if I tilt it forward, the quad will go forward, backwards, left and right. The grandkids quite like this. I don't know why it's got that wobble on it, whether or not it's not quite moving it right on here. I should have turned my phone to stop it auto-rotating, because as soon as, of course, you tip forward, the phone will turn round. So that can get a bit confusing. You can still rotate round, and you can still go up and down, obviously. With the grandkids, what I tend to do is tell them to face the way of the drone. So I'm quite happy sort of flying it like this, but they get a little bit confused. So if I now point it forward, obviously it's coming forwards towards me. But if you're facing the way it's going, it's a lot easier way of doing it, sort of thing. So I'm going to take that out of there, and back into joystick mode, and then it should hold it. Yeah. Oh, I wonder if the wobble's because of this grass. Like I say, the grass is quite a bit damp. So, whoops. No, I think it's when it's on that motion sensitivity, it was moving, because now it's absolutely fine. So. Okay, and I'll just finish off with some sort of slow motion stuff, just to see what the actual video quality is like. Because if you were after video, you would probably be using it in low rates anyway. A nice slow. I don't really understand why you've got a 360 button, because you could just do it yourself. It's really not that difficult, and it is nice and controllable. It's a nice little controllable quad actually. Now what usually mucks up optical flows is my roof. I've had very few of them that can actually work well on the roof. I think it's to do with the slope and obviously the lines of it as well. So I'm just going to give it a go, see whether this one's any better. But like I say, I've had a lot of them that will not hold position up there, or they wobble around a lot. Let's just see how we get on. Yep, yeah, it's struggling as much as the other ones do. Yep, it really can't hold its position, just doesn't want to. Oh yeah, oh there we go. Oh no, it's not doing too bad actually. Oh yeah, no, you can see it's still all pitching around and everything. So yep, it won't hold still. It's just moving all the time. If I bring it back off there, hopefully. And the slow rates is really slow, but nice for video. You get nice smooth video with it. There we go. Now it's trying to find a position as well. There we go. Then it should. There we go. Now we're nice and stable on it. So yeah, you see the roof. It definitely struggles with the roof sort of thing. And you couldn't use this for FPV because it's noticed an awful lot of stuff. As soon as you get a bit of lag with it, and it's a bit clunky sort of thing. That might be my phone, but I mean, you wouldn't really be using this as an FPV flyer anyway, sort of thing. But it is rather nice. Really nice. The screen is so clear on this. It must be one of the best ones I've ever used, I must admit. It really is nice. And that position hold is superb, absolutely superb on it. Let's see if I can fly it quite controlled, see how we get on. It's been doing all right so far. Let's try and put it through its paces, or me through my paces perhaps. I've got freezing cold hands as well, so it's probably not going to help. Hey, nice. The nice thing is, as soon as you let go, of course, it's going to hold position for you. So if you need to walk in somewhere, like I've just put it in a position, I'm not too sure exactly where it's going to go next. There we go. That's nice. It works really well. And nice. It's almost like slow motion, this one. It's so slow. Really good. So I'm just going to see what happens when we're at the end of the battery life, because last time it sort of trashed in quite quick on me. This is a nice little flyer actually. I like this. Oh, we've got low battery land now, around 20. Oh, we were 20 odd percent there. You'd be able to see it played back, and then it suddenly went to 12. So literally, you don't get a lot of warning basically. So there we go. First things first, I need to apologise. The screen recording is not my usual quality. It's not the quality of the actual screen. It somehow or other it had got locked into recording it in vertical mode, so I had to then crop it to put it back into landscape mode, and it's wound up with a degraded file basically. So the clarity is much better, as you will notice from the head cam when I'm looking down at the screen. The clarity is really good. I did like it on this. It is very good. The footage is lovely as well, I think, for what it is. The stabilized footage, a lot better than some other ones I've had like this, and also it is 1080p as well. So and it's 8 megapixel on the actual stills as well. So sometimes they're just the same as a still from the video. I don't know if it's been just pulled up or whatever, but that's the figures on it, and it does work nicely. And you can see the footage. Only you can decide whether it's good for you. You get some spares with it. You get 4 spare propellers, and they're clearly marked R and L for left and right. So if you're new to quads and you break a prop, you need to know which way round they go. So they are clearly marked. Basically, this is the right one, this is the right one, and this is the left, this is the left. So make sure you do that. You've also got a little prop removal tool. These are really good. You slide it in underneath and then push it up. You basically use leverage to push down on the motor and push the prop up to get it out. That's important. It doesn't wrench the motor as you're trying to pull it out as well. And that comes with it as well. You've got little prop guards here which just clip onto there around the motors, and they make it into quite a sizable little quad then. And it looks quite cool, but really well protected. If you're new to flying, you're not going to damage hopefully anyone or anything around if you're flying indoors. The props are pretty flexible, so they shouldn't do too much damage if they caught something, and they're not powerful motors anyway. The instructions I was telling you about are really good. They are nicely done actually. Got the QR codes there, and it's in 3 different languages, I think 3 or 4 different languages, and it's nice, and also repeated in the app, which I really like. This app is really good, nice and simple, not too complicated, and very easy to use. And because it's got the optical flow and altitude hold, it just sits there while you change any of the settings, and off you go again. Another big benefit of this was the fact that if the battery's getting low, it stops the video, so you don't corrupt the end of the video, which is really good. And then obviously it brings it into land, but it does drop off at the end. It goes to about 24%, and then it just drops out of the sky basically, and then hits down to about 12% on it. So it takes, I was getting, about 6-minute flight. It was good 6-minute flight every time, and I've flown it a few times. And then also it takes about an hour and a half to charge up, and the way you charge it is you get a little cable with it, and I'm going to do this on a little power bank because we're in the studio at the moment. Simply plug it into there, and then you get a little red LED come on there, which means it's all connected up. It actually does go live. That's the same light that you get when you turn it on, so it is going live. Then you get this flashing blue here, and you get little flashing LEDs at the front. I don't know if the camera will be able to pick that up. About 3 seconds they stay on, then they go off for 3 seconds. If you want to, you can turn it off just by holding this, and that'll actually stop it being live. I've done it both ways, and it takes exactly the same amount of time to charge. So I don't know what the gain is there with it, but that's the way I've tested it out, and that's the way it works, sort of thing. So all in all, if you're after a little selfie drone, it's quite small, fit in a bag, no bother at all, and the range was really good. I got 80 meters, and it was still just about holding on the Wi-Fi. Now, that was pretty impressive. They only give 50 meters anyway, so, and 50 meters away, there's a nice lens on it as well, and nice footage, I think. So all in all, yeah, really nice for what it is. And I do hope you've enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.